Hello, hello, hello. Welcome into the space. My name is Angel and I'm the soul healing coach. And I am excited about today's conversation and breath work and meditation in the sense of Khujichagulia, self determination, which is the second principle for Kwanzaa. For those of you who celebrate Kwanzaa, um, I did not feel led to do anything publicly yesterday for and let me make sure we have all this right for um let me give you all a chance to get in. I just realized, I'm ready to jump in when I get on here. I'm just so ready to jump all the way in when I get on here, but I want to wait and welcome you into the space. And so the first principle was your moja, which is unity, striving for and to strive for and to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. And so I did not choose to do anything publicly, but I chose to spend a lot of time uh, within that 24-hour period with family, friends, loved ones, and attending gatherings at other people's houses and family members' houses, as well as playing games, as well as just loving on my family. And then we had an impromptu gathering of what I call the younger collective minds. Well, all of those who were not sick or who did not have children sick, we gathered together and we had just small little feast here at the house. And we gathered and we played games and we had conversations. And what I realized not until this morning is that we literally had celebrated together collectively Umoja, unity, and we had conversations around unity and conversations around things that may disrupt unity within ourselves, within our families, within the community and in the world. And it was pretty cool. We learned a lot about each other, about playing certain games. And you just don't know what you know or what you don't know about each other until you spend time together. And so I want to make sure today that you also jump all the way in. Let me know that you're here and let me get out of here. Let me know that you're here. The other thing I want you to do is to let me know if you've been here or you just come here. If you've been here, which means you've been here with me before, you can type been here. And if you're just coming here, which means you've never been in this space before, you can type come here. And if you're watching this on the replay, which means you're catching it after it streams live, it's okay. It is okay. It does not matter. I welcome you into the space. So let's drop into our song. Let's get our samba. Are you ready? All right. Let's take a deep breath in together. Feet uncrossed, shoulders dropped. Breath out. Deep breath in through the nose. Belly tucked out and hold. Exhale. While tucking your belly in. Think on self-determination. Deep breath in. Relax. Release. Deep breath in. And hold. And release. Deep breath in. Drop the breath. Deep breath in. Drop the breath. Deep breath in. Drop the breath. Deep breath in. Drop that breath. As you breathe and sit with yourself, sit with God, sit with divine, sit with nature, sit with spirit, call in your ancestors, your spirit guides, those who have gone before you. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Mother God, Mother Earth, we greet you. As we check into self-determination, we're going to think about all the ways that we have tried to be in a determined state in our lives. Deep breath in and release. And I want you to sit in that as you breathe normally. Just kind of breathe through that. Because sometimes when we hear the self-determination, we think of I got to do, I got to be, I got to go, I got to strive, I got to excel. So while you're feeling some of that anxiety, take a deep breath in and release it. Self-determination can be accepting who I am, just breathe. Loving who I am, just breathe. Being sure of who I am, just breathe. Self-determination can also be acknowledging where you want to go. Breathe. Acknowledging the kind of life you want to live. Breathe. Acknowledge how you want to move within the earth. Breathe. Acknowledgement that whatever you set out to create and produce, that it can be. Deep breath in. Hold it, believe it, and exhale doubt. Self-determination looks like I can try until I've tried my last try, but I'm going to keep going. Deep breath in. And release it. Self-determination can sometimes seem as if you tried and you tried and you tried again, but when it's your turn, when it's your season, when it's the place you're supposed to be, when it's the right direction, the right path, the right people, the right place, everything will be on its course for your self-determination to help you develop who you are, where you want to go, who you want to become. And I want to say this, not only who you're supposed to become, but who you were created to be. Self-determination means I'm not out here scruffling trying to find my way, but I acknowledge that a way and ways are possible in this earth for me to be here, to reside, and to stay in my self-determination. Determining what this self should be, determining where I should go in my being, determining what my community, love, life, sense, world will be like. Because guess what? I was determined within myself. One of the ways that community fails is when individuals, for some reason, lose their ability to be self-determined, which is you continue to strive, to set goals, to have ideas about what you want your life, your community, your world, your family to look like. And then you make small or sometimes great leaps to get there. What we sometimes forget in self-determination is that the only time span we're on is the soul's and this body as far as it lasts. And so what we have to understand is we have to continue to try to go and to do. And though our path may look different than others, self-determination is required for the collective work of the greater good. Because as we know, the next work after Khujichagulia, which is self-determination, becomes Ujima, collective work and responsibility. So how can we look in to define ourselves, one, to name ourselves, two, to create for ourselves and speak for ourselves? And something I did this morning, you guys can come out if you need to move about. Something we did this morning is we began to check in. We began to check in. And so I reminded all my children, all three of them, from ages of 11 up to 21, of their names and why we named them what we named them. And so we went into like one whose name is Jabati, Fearless Prince, Vibrant, Brave One, Kingston, Royal, Empower, Logan, Little Warrior who sits high and is elevated, and the importance of these things coming into the video. Say hi.
Hello.
The importance of these things is for them to understand who and whose they are. Sometimes we lose our way on life's journey. Just make as little noise as possible, okay? That we lose our way on life's journey is because we don't remember who we are. No one has told me who we are and where we become. So in the comments, if you know who you are, tell us, I know who I am. If you are discovering who you are, type, I'm discovering who I am. If you are on a journey to know that you've been here before and that your ancestors have come before you and that they're great ones who have come before you. And so, therefore, regardless of what people have called you out of your name, that your name means something. And so, let's sit with that in naming ourselves, because something I've also acknowledged as we breathe in. And sometimes we're stuck in the psychology of what the world has told us we are, instead of sitting in the deep seated root in our hearts and our solar plexus and our sacral, and then also within our root chakra as to who we know we are. So today, go study and look up your name in all different possible nationalities and all different possible derivatives. So when I look at my ancestry and all these different things, I have African, I have Scottish. There's even a little bit of European in there, and there's a little bit of um, mm, I forget. There's a little bit of different things in there. And so I make sure that when I speak or when I call on myself, my ancestors, and within myself, I'm looking at all of that. So I want you to be intentional on deciding who you are. What's your name? Something that people do when they self actualize or they get into a space where they believe that they are ready to end the suffering within themselves and to go into the healed space is they rename themselves. And I'll never forget the day that I understood the meaning of my name of Angel. And so let's talk about that, not to boast or to brag, but to say what that means. And so for me, I learned today, as my husband says, oh my gosh, I did not know that's what my name meant. What does your name mean? And I said, Angel means messenger, the messenger. She knows in Scottish. In African Swahili, it stands for Malaika, a beautiful girl or God's attendant. And so we are given a purpose and called to a certain place. And our soul is given purpose, and breath is breathed into us, into our lungs, so that we can walk out this purpose in the earth. And so self determination means knowing who you are. Do you remember? And this is so funny, but it's so on point. I believe it was Rafiki in the in the Lion King. She says, "Do you know who you are, or remember who you are?" Right, and then we go over into the last Wakanda movie, where she says, show them who you are. You got to show them who you are. We can't show people who we are. We can't be who we are because sometimes we don't know who we are. And so you must check into that daily. Check into that. It's not about boasting or puffing yourself up. It's about having, yes, some self-pride and some self-worth and some self-determination. It's also about being okay when others speak ill will or harm or try to tear you down, that you are acknowledging and speaking over that of, when it says in Khujichagulia self-determination to define ourselves, I know who I am. I am a child of the Most High God. I know that everywhere my feet shall trod, I shall have dominion. I know that my ancestors who came before me walked boldly and proudly and made changes upon and within the earth. I know the songs by Tasha Cobbs says, you know my name, right? God knows our name. And so when we are creating for ourselves, I want to talk about that with you today. All right, let's ring the bowl. What are you creating for yourself? What are you creating for yourself? What are you creating? A lot of times we're put in this earth and we say, oh, create this. Who do you want to come? How do you want to change the world? I want you to think about creating internal. What are you creating just for you? What are you being just for you? What are you putting in the earth that is out of your creation? What are you speaking for yourself? What are you speaking over yourself? Speak over yourself. There's a song by Donald Lawrence. Y'all know I can't sing, but I got to go here. It says, sometimes you have to encourage yourself. You got to encourage yourself. You got to speak over yourself. You got to give yourself what it is and you need to have. Sometimes there's not going to be anybody in your corner, in your space, or when you're by yourself in the room and that, or when you're on the subway, or when you've lost your way. Sometimes you got to encourage yourself and say, no matter how I feel, I can speak the word over myself. Speak over yourself. Encourage yourself in the word, in the Lord, in your spiritual books, in whatever your spiritual tongue and dialect is. Know that you can encourage and empower yourself. You can speak life over yourself. You can show up for yourself. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Without worrying about what others may say, do, create, or believe. So today we're going to close with this. I want you to get a piece of paper, or I want you to get your phone, and I want you to go into your notepad. And I'm going to do this with you. This is how we're closing today. We're going to write self-determination. And then after you write self-determination, I want you to use the terms I am, I will be, I leave behind, I look towards. So you're going to start with I am, I will be. Let me put this in here for you. I am, I will be, okay? And then we're going to put I leave behind, and then we're also going to put I look towards. And this is what you're going to do as today's journaling process. I am called. I am in purpose. My name says I am a messenger, that I am one of God's attendants. My name says that I have messages for others. My name says that I shall speak. That's what my name says. And that's what I am. I am a messenger. I am one who tells. I am one who knows. I am one who proclaims. I am one. Do you hear that? The next thing is I will be. I will be a messenger. I will be an orator. I will be an oracle. I will be a messenger. I will be a mouthpiece. I will. You hear that? I leave behind all things that speak against who I know I am. Oh, that's powerful. I leave behind all things that speak against who I know I am. Okay? I look towards. It reminds me of I press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling. So let's add that in. Let that be our mantra today. I press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling. Because we're all called according to the purpose of our soul. I press towards the mark. Put this in here for you. For the prize of the high calling. And everybody's calling is different. And so I want you to look at the full vast world, because the world is the place in when you are sent in to be able to create, to do, to be, to design, to share, to give, and to know. Okay, so I want you to fully look at that. And so in all of this, we're looking at self-determination. We're looking at I am, I will be, I leave behind, I look towards, I press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling. Okay, so whatever those callings are, whatever that thing is, whatever it is that comes up for you, remember today in the celebration of Khujichagulia, self-determination, to define ourselves, to name ourselves, to create for ourselves, and to speak for ourselves. And it's okay to be direct in that. It's okay that when someone calls you out of your name, a lot of times people say, oh, just walk past it. It's okay to say, I know who I am, and I am. And then to speak over that thing that was spoken. It's okay to wait until you get by yourself and to speak over the things that other people have spoke towards you all day that is not true. It's okay to acknowledge that even though people may not fully know who you are, one of the greatest ways also for self-determination is to be able to properly introduce yourself. I am blah, 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 blah. And I am here in this earth too, blah, 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 blah. People may not believe it, but the more you speak it, it's also coming out of the law of attraction. It's also coming out of sowing and reaping. It's also coming out of speak those things that are not as though they were. And so you speak them into existence because you want to hear, you want to feel, you want to believe, you want to know, you want to create, and you want to be. You want to be in self-determination. I hope this was helpful for you today. Let's breathe it out. Are you ready? Oh, I feel so much powerful. I hope you do. Deep breath in. Out. In. Out. In. And out. Hope it was good for you. It was good for me. I hope you walk away from this space. If you need to reach out to me and work personally with me, also you can always reach out to me on this platform, angelonlylivingston.com, as a way to work together individually. All coaching sessions are beginning to for January through February. The booking session process is about to close. There's also some new things that are coming out and some ways that I'm collaborating with others. Also know this, that you can choose the outcome. It may not go as easy as you want to, but the outcome is possible. And I felt the need to say that to you, whoever this is today. But know this, self-determination is the best thing you can have. And so when people try to break your soul and break your spirit, they're really trying to do is break your self-determination. And that we can't give them. So have a wonderful day. Beloved, I wish that you will prosper and be in good health even as your soul prospers. My name is Angel, and I'm the Soul Healing Coach. And thank you for joining me for another episode of the Soul Healing Coach podcast, as well as we stream live on YouTube, Facebook, and Revolutionary Love Fellowship page, and the Soul Healing Coach page. Remember, Khujichagulia, self-determination.